Hello and welcome to Class Clown series. In this episode, first you will see a strong sample answer based on the latest Cambridge book, and then an important note at the end. Let's go! What do you like to drink with your dinner and why?
I'm so boring. I like water, just plain old water. I don't like juice or pop or anything sweet all that much.
Okay. Do you drink a lot of water every day?
I try to because it's mainly the only thing that I like to drink. Sometimes I like to have coconut water. I'm not drinking any alcohol because I'm pregnant right now. So yeah, that's off the table. So yeah, I try to drink as much water as I can.
Okay, here's a classic. Do you prefer drinking tea or coffee?
I have always been a coffee drinker. I love coffee, but ever since I got pregnant, for some reason I haven't been craving coffee, which I guess is a good thing because you're not supposed to have caffeine. So yeah, I've noticed that I want tea much more often than coffee.
If people visit you in your home, what do you usually offer them to drink?
I offer, well, because I don't buy pop or juice, I can really only offer them water or coffee or tea.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right, so it's not one sculpture, it's actually a ton of sculptures. So this is something that I saw in Taiwan in a museum called Juming Museum. I hope that's the pronunciation. And there's the museum, but then outside there's a sculpture park. And I loved that. I just loved being able to be out in a park in nature, but having all these sculptures around me. And they just have a ton of... it's like a life-size military sculpture. So it's life-size and it's just, you just see these soldiers and some of them are in, I can't remember if there were tanks or jeeps or something like that. But it's very impressive. And I can't really explain why I enjoyed it so much. I think it was just being outdoors and these life-size sculptures and just there being so many of them, it just felt really surreal to be there. So that was very, very memorable. And if I could, I would love to visit again.
What kinds of monuments do tourists in your country enjoy visiting?
I have no idea. What monuments? I know that there was one. Well, it's more of it's a sculpture that they put downtown. I think it was 4 years ago or something, and a lot of people were talking about it. And I don't remember what it's called or anything, but I remember it's something like a face, and a lot of people were really drawn to it.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember if it was because the way that the face changes depending on the angle that you're, you know where you're looking from. But yeah, that created like a lot of what am I looking for?
Buzz.
Buzz, that's the word.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think that statue is right now in front of the Art Gallery of Ontario.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, why do you think there are often statues of famous people in public places?
I guess they just want to remember, historical figures. They don't want to erase history, and if somebody did something important for the country or whatever, then they want to be able to pay respect to that person by making sure it's something that we can always see and remember.
Do you agree that old monuments and buildings should always be preserved?
Yes. I mean, I really like modern things, but it's good to have both, and I'm not sure if they should always be preserved. It really depends, but I think it is really nice and important to hang on to maybe monuments or buildings that have some historical significance, and of course that they should still serve a purpose today.
Now let's talk about architecture. Why is architecture such a popular university subject?
Oh, What a great question. I guess I actually don't really know, but architecture is something that is really interesting, even when you don't know anything about it. It creates, an atmosphere, and it changes the environment, and it really makes people feel a certain way. And again, it's really reflective of whenever something was built or designed or whatever, it really reflects that time. So when you study it, you can just it also just shows us what was going on at that place at that moment.
And to what extent does the design of buildings affect people's moods?
Oh, I think it affects people's moods quite a lot. I think it affects my mood for sure. Because design it's everything. It's how spacious, how open something can feel, or if it's closing in on you, if it's bright or if it's dark, if it feels calming, if it feels energizing. So I think that space or architecture can really influence how you feel.
Brilliant. And this is your final question. In what ways has the design of homes changed in recent years?
I feel, again, this is just my opinion, but I feel that we used to have a preference for older buildings, and now a lot of modern things are being built, and it's like very minimalist, modern, very clean, I guess, shapes, and so it's very different. You don't have also the materials. It's more about, I guess, it just looks more cement, I would say, less wood. So yeah, it's a shift to something a lot more modern.
Thank you very much. This is the end of your IELTS speaking test, Ella.
Great.
Thank you. All right. Here are a few ways for you to improve your vocabulary for the IELTS test. Study a wide range of topics by reading books, magazines, online articles, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, and so on. Learn vocabulary in context. By learning phrases instead of single words, you can increase your chance of using the vocabulary appropriately with the correct collocation. Record new words in a Word file or in a notebook and keep track of the list of new words you learn through listening or reading. It is also important to regularly review the vocabulary you've learned and occasionally test yourself. A great way to do both is by creating flashcards, with the word on one side and the meaning and the examples on the other. Practice activating the new vocabulary you've learned as much as you can. It's not enough for you to just understand the word, you must actually use it in order to gain confidence. A great way to expand your vocabulary is to learn different forms of the word when you practice. For example, perfect as an adjective, perfect as a verb, perfectly, that's the adverb, and perfection, which is the noun form. Connecting words with their synonyms and antonyms can also make it easier for your brain to organize and recall vocabulary better. For example, when you're learning the word perfect, also maybe write down flawless, impeccable, and maybe a few antonyms as well, like imperfect or flawed. That's it, guys. Hope this was helpful.